I'm interested to see the Colby and the Leon fight. I just, if you're gonna do it, I mean, John, what's your take on him being able to just, I guess, skip the line?
Just sit there. Well, and this is you gotta look. I'm not going to say anything bad about Colby in this situation, but you got guys that have been super busy, guys that are fighting. Bilal Muhammad, he's been fighting, and he's good. There is a little bit of a story there with Bilal and Leon, based upon they had that first fight. It ended with the eye poke. Never really came about. People can say what they want, which way the fight was going. That's fine. Fights change in a moment's time, but Colby has been. And I'm not going to say he's, in any way did anything wrong, but he's been sitting. He hasn't fought in a year since he fought, Masvidal. Now, he did have the little incident outside of the cage that might have caused some kind of, problem for him, but he's been sitting. But I'll tell you what, just because, and this is, people are, saying, why does he get the automatic? Because he came in and he did what the UFC asked. He was there as a backup fighter. And the funny part is Bilal Muhammad has been calling him out and called him out to fight in London. He could have been the backup fighter fighting in London. He could have, done that, fighting Bilal Muhammad, and if, one of these guys fell out, he got to jump in. But he's no, and just goes and he does his part. He's the backup guy. And because he's the backup guy, that automatically is now moving him into you are the guy that gets the next shot. Smooth move, Colby. Very nicely done because you played it out as well as you could play it.
Well, then I heard Dana say that, what are we doing with Bilal? Because media guy asked, what are we doing with Bilal? And then he turns to Hunter, and Hunter goes, oh, we're trying to get him against Shavkat. I was like, he should be next in line.
Well, and you look at it, Rachmanov, when you look and you go, okay, he had a really tough fight, very good performance in his last one and stuff, and he's moving up. If you're Bilal, you're going, what the frick?
Yeah.
What have I done to piss everybody off here?
You did something, buddy.
I've only done everything you've asked, and now I'm on a, an 8-fight win streak? This comes down to the Dagestani claim of you got to get 10 wins. That's when they'll give you a title fight. And it's like Bilal's done everything that you can ask. He's been the main event. He's gone through guys like, Vicente Luque, which was a hell of a win. How many wins does he have in a row now? 1, 2, 3.
2, 4, 6, 8. Plus a no contest is 9.
Wow.
The no contest with Leon was right in the middle.
Yeah.
But, he's done everything. Some of the names here, not, but as they get up, he beat, the last 4, Damian Maia, Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady. Mm-hmm. Look at 4 good fighters.
Yep.
4 good fighters. A couple guys with special talents in certain areas. And, he's done a great job. That last fight with Sean Brady, he just looked fantastic in that one. And so, I don't know. It's one of those you look. If you're Bilal Muhammad, you got a little bit of you got some stuff you can say, and you can be honest. And when you're saying it, say, hey man, I've done everything, and you're giving it to that guy.
Well, because you've got, as Colby would say, you got Cumshot in there in number 3.
Yeah, but is he?
And he's not a 70-pounder. He's out. He's going to be. They're already trying to match him up at 185. So
and you come in at 9 pounds over when look. I love Chimaev as a fighter. I think he's fun to watch. I love the way he does things. I like his personality outside of it. When it comes to give him to me, I'll smash them on the whole thing. That's great. But he shit the bed in that Nate Diaz. No, let's just be honest, man. That was a fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
It was just everything, and that was set up for him. Let's be honest. We all looked at that and said, that's not a good fight for Nate. That's a bad fight for Nate. And 9 pounds. 9 pounds, Josh. Look, you can't tell me you've done things right and come in 9 pounds over. You can tell me, I did everything right and I had these problems, and you come in a pound and a half over. Okay. Those last ones are 9 pounds? No, you didn't even freaking work at it.
No, I don't normally agree with Colby Covington when he speaks. It just drives me crazy. I like him as a fighter. I think he's talented, but man, when he talks, I'm like, oh, I get that cringe. But he had a point when I saw the interview of him talking about, look, they set him up to fight a big name in Nate Diaz. They gave him every opportunity to be a star. I know he's already kind of a pretty big star right now.
Yeah.
But they were pushing you. They were fast tracking you to the title. If you beat Nate, you're getting a title shot. And you, like you said, John, he shit the fucking bed.
Yep.
And I think at 170, there's a good chance he would have been champ. But I think at 185, sure, if I put him against guys like Izzy and Pereira, yeah, he probably could become champs. But you got to get past someone like Robert Whitaker. If you get past Bobby Knuckles,
different story.
Exactly. Just styles. And when we talk about styles make matchups, that's the fight. Those are the things that we're talking about. You may be able to beat number 1 and number 2. Like I said this from the get. I said this from the get when we were talking about Johnny Eblen. And I'm not getting into the Bellator versus UFC, but Johnny Eblen to me against Robert Whitaker is a harder fight for Johnny than to fight Izzy than to fight Pereira. It's no different than Comshot. Like with him versus Whitaker, that's a really tough fight for him. Yeah, him against Izzy's still a tough fight.
Match.
Yeah, Izzy's still a tough fight for him.
It's a tough fight. Pereira's a tough fight, but their styles match up as something that gives him an advantage in the fight and makes it to where it's a difficult matchup for them.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about all the time. Look, I can take guys and I can put them, and I'll tell you now, that doesn't mean when I match these up that it's impossible for this one guy to win, but I'm going to make it to where this is a difficult matchup. And you can do that within the rankings and look and say, I'm trying. And sometimes the UFC does it. I'm trying to get this guy a win. Yeah. And it's just styles make fights. There are certain styles that give people problems, and there's styles that don't.
Yeah. I mean, I look at after what I saw, after what I saw last night with Marvin Vettori also, he's another guy that potentially will give Comshot a little bit of a hard time. He's got a fucking chin on him, and he's thick. He's pretty strong. That he's somebody that could potentially give Comshot a hard time as well. Delitze, that guy as
would
well.
give him problems.
Yeah. We're going to get into that fight. It was a good fight. But anyways, I look at where we're at right now, and I think Bilal versus Rakhmonov, I was like, man, I feel bad for Bilal because you're one once you get rid of Comshot, right? Once you get rid of him, I mean you're number 2. You're right there, you're waiting. So you're kind of waiting for the winner of the Colby fight with Leon. Yeah. But if I look at Leon, who Leon's like, hey, I kind of feel like, hey, I'm the king now. I get to kind of pick and choose who I want to fight. Careful, buddy. Careful.
I agree that he is the king of that division in the UFC right now. There's no doubt. He proved that. When you sit there and say, I get to pick, that might not be the term that you wanted to use.
Yeah.
That might be, there's other people in that organization. They might have more say than you. Now, you can always refuse it, but then you're talking about just getting into a situation you don't want to be in.
100% agree.